Hello Fantasy Faithfuls and welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of CSD Head-2-Head. Today we're looking at Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce. Both of them are obviously the number one tight end on their respective teams with the Patriots and the Chiefs. Gronk is currently being drafted as the 23rd overall player while Kelce goes as 28th.
Offense continues, Brady gets time, fires and completes it to Gronkowski. Fights off Monday, heads for the goal line, touchdown!
Starting off, we're breaking down the receiving of Rob Gronkowski. His receiving patterns show us a tight end that is mostly used as a safety blanket within 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. What will be interesting with the huge numbers to the short zones is the amount of yards Gronk can gain from those passes. Gronk's catch rate is great in deep over the middle, but with only 7% of all his targets coming there, it will not have that huge impact on his yards he can gain from those passes. His catch rate in the shorter zones are above my 60% benchmark, which is no surprise. His touchdown rate over the last 3 years is amazing with 8.3, which is the 6th highest of all players in the NFL. The yards per reception are out of this world and is where he really shines. No other tight end comes close to these numbers. He is about league average by at least 2 to 5 points in all zones but the deep left, and that's not just for tight ends but also for wide receivers.
And Brady lost one for Gronkowski, reaching for it, touchdown.
Now let's take a look at Travis Kelce's receiving breakdown. Gronk had a ton of passes to the shorter zones, but comparing him to Kelce, it almost looked like he had none. Kelce sees almost no passes further than 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. It will be very interesting to see if this changes with Mahomes, but with Smith, the shorter passes was the bread and butter. His catch rate in the deeper zones are a little bit worse than Gronk, but this is nothing that has impacted him too much before since there's been few targets coming deep. He catches almost anything thrown short, so at the end of the day, why even throw deep? His touchdown rate over the last 3 years have been 5%, which is higher than most wide receivers, but on the lower side of tight ends. Kelce's yards per completions is not what I thought it would be. I was expecting a lot more yards in the shorter zones, but I guess when he sees that many targets there, as he does, and catching almost everything, he can gain less per catch and just rack up yards thanks to the amount of opportunity.
Here comes Hill. Faked everybody. They do a little flip to Kelce, and he jumps over everybody. Touchdown!
Comparing how many weeks they should have been started last year, meaning they were top 10 tight end that week, Gronk had 10 weeks. Kelce was not far behind, and he saw 8 weeks where he should have been started. Looking at when they are most productive, we see that Gronk's favorite month is October, when he gains 40% of all his yards, and Kelce prefers December with 30% of all his. Gronk's most productive down is first with 40% of all his yards, and Travis Kelce's second down.
For the first time tonight, they're the Washington 17. Alex Smith to the goal line, caught in traffic. Touchdown, Travis Kelce.
Now let's take a look at how they perform in different situations. Both Gronk and Kelce are very even in their production, both away and at home. They don't really make a difference where they play, they just score fantasy points. When it comes to playing against AFC, Gronk is a terror. His own conference is demolished while the NFC stops him somewhat. The opposite can be said for Kelce, that kills the NFC teams. Gronk stepped up his game when playing against teams with a winning record, while Kelce goes into hiding. However, Kelce destroys bad teams. Gronk's best situation is playing away versus an above 500 record AFC team, and Kelce's best situation is playing away versus a below 500 record NFC team. Comparing the numbers, we see that Gronk has a higher fluctuation in his scoring with 7 in his standard deviation compared to Kelce's 5.7. Gronk has a one-game ceiling of 19.1 and Kelce 14.3. Gronk has a much higher one-game floor with 5 against Kelce's 2.8. My pick after comparing their receiving, usability, situational play, and numbers is Rob Gronkowski, which after looking at the whole picture, takes home a really easy victory in my book. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more weekly content. And as always, the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror.